Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone who is joining from the different geolocations. I welcome you all in this webinar of Progress Data Replication, what, why, and how. My name is Prabhu Jha. I'm the host and the speaker, and with me I have my associate Rajinder Kamboj. Myself is associated with the Progress Technology for last 2 decades. And I'm working as the head of Progress Competency in the JK Technosoft. My associate Rajinder Kamboj is a Progress Technical Architect, and he is over a decade experience in the Progress Technology. Today we are going to talk about the Progress Data Replication. Before we jump to the topic and the webinar, I just wanted to give you a detail on some housekeeping item. Attendees will be in the listen-only mode, if you have any question during the webinar, you can type in the chat window or Q&A window, and we'll be happy to take it after the webinar, at the end of the webinar. And due to the time constraint, if we're not able to answer your questions, feel free to send us through the email, and we'll happy to answer that. So, coming to the topic, Progress Data Replication, what, why, and how. Now, as a data replication is something which is very common in the Progress world, and the customers have been using it for many years. But it's always been a question by the customer that what is the best way to do the replication? What kind of challenges I will face if I do the replication? What are the considerations I should give in choosing one solution over the other? So we thought, why not we encapsulate all these questions into one discussion topic and try to discuss on a very high level all these key ideas, all these key points, so that we will have one starting point for the people who wanted to choose the Progress Data Replication. So I will start the webinar, and I will invite my associate Rajinder Kamboj to start with this webinar.
Thank you, Prabhu. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to everyone as per your geolocation. In my brief introduction, I am working on different Progress technology stacks from last 1 decade at different positions with different customers. As stated earlier by Prabhu, that data replication is nothing new in the technology world, but as a brief, I would touch point on what is replication. Well, it's a set of technologies for copying and distributing data and database objects from one object to another, and then synchronizing between those databases to help maintain consistency of data. Using replication, you can distribute data to different locations and even to the remote. Or mobile users over the local wired area network, dial-up connections, wireless communication connections, and over the internet. But keep in mind that data replication is not a disaster recovery, failover process, and open edge to open edge only. It is not like that your database went down and replication database performed the failover process. But yes, you can use the replication database as a backup database to get the data if your database corrupts or died and cannot recover. The next question comes about what is the need of data replication if we have transaction database exist. Look, in the today's data-driven technology world, data plays most important role in any business growth. There are many factors to consider for understanding that why an organization systems need the data replication. From the broad category of these factors, we have narrowed down the most important factors which I believe are major pointers to help any organization to take a decision on data replication implementation so that their transaction system should not get any performance issues during data processing for different tasks, and business should run as usual. So the need is like a data for BI analytics and reporting. So in my opinion, timing is everything, and when you're capturing, interpreting, and then acting on the real-time data for the business projection to measure organizational throughput and take business decisions. Business decisions drive based on the reports, and data replication help to produce these reports from clone database. Further, this replicated data can be used by any software for predictive analytics. Another need is like an alternate view of data. So every organization need a data to have an organization 360-degree business data view to see and measure the business growth, business problems, and take primitive measures to solve the problems. So heterogeneous application integration is another factor which is required for a data replication. Today, different systems on software are communicating with each other to make the business process simple and robust. In an organization, most of the departments are working independent to each other like a sub-organization. All the departments are using different type of systems, softwares for their business process need. Data replication is required for application integration for easy data sharing. A copy of data from a cloud hosting system, like in today's world, everyone is moving towards a cloud. That's a cost-efficient solution. And as everyone knows that cloud computing is playing an important role in any application. And in the cloud system uses, some data is required to store locally or in-premise, and to do so, data replication is the solution. Local data storage can be used as a historical data for further reference or as and when required.
So I would like to add on top of that need for the replication again is very, very organization specific. I mean, every situation may or may not need the replication. I mean, you really need to look into your situation. I mean, these are very, very broad level need which we have tried to list it out. And there may be other smaller, or other specific factors which may require you to do the replication, but at the same time, replication is not for everything and it's not for everyone. So really need to take a look, do you really need the replicated data? I mean, do you going to need the replication in the real time? Do you going to need the replication in a near real time, or you can have a lag of a day or a half day or whatever? So you need to really look into that, what kind of replicated system you need and where you need it or not. And those specific factors will play in the next step, that where you really wanted to go for the replication or not. So let's take a look into what are the challenges typically we face when we go for the replication.
Yeah. So in Progress OpenEdge, it is always difficult to implement the data replication solution between OpenEdge and foreign databases. So foreign databases, I mean to say like SQL Server or Oracle. So the first challenge which I feel is like a connectivity. Establishment of connectivity between Progress OpenEdge database and foreign database is always a challenge, as there is no direct connectivity tunnel exists for data transfer. Organizations are feeling difficulties in maintaining connectivity. So another challenge is data type, different data types and different data structures. As everyone knows that Progress is a little different than the foreign databases RDBMS, and it is supporting some unique database data types and data structures as compared to foreign databases like Oracle and SQL Server. Due to this difference, it requires a lot of coding or other challenges for data replication implementation. For example, Progress database is having extend feature with the data types, but on the other hand, foreign databases are not having any extend feature in data type. This type of issue is a real challenge for implementing data replication. So other one is complexity, like over the period, the application systems and databases are complicated designed as per business need, and organizations are facing problem in implementing data replication because of this. The disruption of normal business operations, there should not be any disruption of normal business operations, and business should operate as usual. We have seen that many organizations are facing this problem when they implement any data replication solution, as users are not able to work because of slowness, and it impacts their business day-to-day jobs. So scalability is another factor. A mid-level organization is producing around 5 GB of sales inventory or other data in progress open edge system as per various reports published in the magazines or over the internet. The organizations are feeling pain when their replication systems are not scalable enough to handle this much of data for replication.
So, I mean, again, I would like to add here that these challenges in the replication are again very, very high level. And when you really go for a data replication, you may have a very specific challenge for your environment or for your organization or the kind of the setup and the configuration you have. So you need to factor in and you properly address those challenges beforehand before you go in replicating the data. So with that, let's take a look into the solutions and the approaches.
Yes. So as we have discussed that what is replication, why an organization need it, and what are the challenges organization faced for implementing the data replication solution. So basically there are two types of solution we have in the market as per the organization need. One is off-the-shelf solution and other one is a handcrafted. Off-the-shelf solution is Progress OpenEdge Pro 2. So Pro 2 removes connectivity limitations without disruption to normal business operations or risk to your system of records. You can use Pro 2 to create a channel for transferring Progress OpenEdge data into a target SQL Server, Oracle, or an OpenEdge database for efficient reporting and analysis. With your Progress OpenEdge database and target data virtually in sync, you can use your third-party reporting solution for up-to-date reports, business intelligence, heterogeneous application integration, data consolidation, etc. Well, on the other hand, we are having a handcrafted solution, and this handcrafted solution is basically on a traditional data queue-based traditional solution working the system from years without any issue. With a handcrafted solution, one can sync virtually, can feed data to third-party reporting tool, input the data to business intelligence systems, can do the application integration, auditing, etc. The low-cost solution is opted by many customers from decades, and this solution is adding value to their business and making their business work well without any disruption. On the technical front, let's discuss about the components of any replication solution. In any solution of replication, either it's off the shelf or handcrafted, the component remains always same. Both the solutions are Progress OpenEdge stack-based solution. The technology stack for the programming is OpenEdge ABL for easy connectivity Progress database. As everyone is aware that OpenEdge ABL is very easily connected with the Progress database without using any drivers. Next component of replication tool are writing the triggers for Progress database or set up the change data capture to prepare the replication queue. Next major component is Progress OpenEdge Data Server and DSN. Data Server and DSN together help to establish and move the data from Progress database to any foreign database. Let's discuss a little more about how the typical flow happen in any replication solution. The basic flow of replication solution is that the data is getting stored in the Progress DB, and at the same time, a replication queue is getting generated for the change information. Once the change information in our replication queue, the process runs to process the stored data into the queue and establish a connection between the foreign database so that it can transfer the data from Progress DB to foreign database by establishing the tunnel by using OE Data Server and DSN. Let's talk a little more about on a technical front that how the typical working of replication solution. All the data in the master database of progress database from different sources. The source of data can be character interface or web or any third-party UI or mobile application, anything. At the time of data capturing in the database, a unique replication queue maintained to record all the CRUD operations, like when you're creating, updating, deleting, modifying, any operation you are doing, it is getting stored in this replication queue and will be used for the replication process. So after every second or based on the configuration, a schedule run to process the replication queue. During the processing, the replication system build a connectivity bridge from Progress DB and the foreign database, and either it can be a SQL or it can be a Oracle. Once the connectivity is established, replication programs feeds the data to OpenEdge data server, and OpenEdge data server communicate with the foreign database via DSN. So DSN is playing a very important role when we are transferring data from Progress to any foreign database, as it is a main bridge which is creating a tunnel for data transfer. Once the transaction complete, system considers the completion of data replication process, and the foreign database is now having the near to real-time data, and then you are having a clone database, and this clone database can be used with any third-party software, and you can generate the reports, you can use it as a backup, or you can use it for a parameter analytics as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, we have at the broad level we have captured what the replication is, what it is not also, and what are the typical challenges one can face when decide to go for the replication, and a typical working of the replication regardless of what solution you decide to choose, and all the components and all the flows. We are going to talk about, obviously, you might have the question that, okay, I mean, we have the two solutions, Pro 2 and handcrafted solution, which one to choose. We are going to talk about certain parameters that can, help you evaluate and choose one solution over other. And then probably we can go into detail whether, we wanted to choose one solution over other. So let's look into the parameters, which are very key consideration in choosing a solution.
Yes, Prabhu. It's very important to consider that which solution we need to choose and what are the parameters required. As we discussed, there are two types of solutions. One is off-the-shelf, that is OpenEdge Pro 2, and second is handcrafted. For the organizations, it is sometimes difficult to understand that what solution they need to implement for data replication. There are some parameters to consider before taking decision of replication solution implementation. So in my opinion, OpenEdge license is one of the primary consideration. Many organizations I have seen that are not having all components of OpenEdge license for data replication. They are either using any standard progress-based ERP with limited license requirement, or any other progress-based software which are not giving the full access to OpenEdge license. So next is complex OpenEdge infrastructure, like all the application systems where infrastructure is not up to date and frequent having connectivity problems along with database slowness. The third very important point to consider is the OpenEdge versioning of application. Organizations are running their business application on different versions due to many reasons. For example, some applications are running on older version of Progress, say version 9.1 or before, or some organizations are running on 8.3, and some applications are upgraded to latest version like 11.x. In 11.x, we consider as 11.1 to 11.7. This type of OpenEdge environment needs special evaluation before selecting the replication solution. Second, if an OpenEdge user is not having complete OpenEdge suite and running an ERP system in the organization, then organization need to buy OpenEdge complete suite for implementation. Like earlier said, organizations are producing a lot of data in today's world, and in the evaluation, they should consider that how much data their organization is producing and study about the scalability of their application solution. Another important factor to consider is that how much time required for implementation of any replication solution and how much will be the downtime. Is there any impact on the business day-to-day operation, etc.? Because downtime plays a very handy role that this business application should not be down as it is a loss to the business. Last, the cost factor. Organizers should check the cost and see that if they are buying or implementing the solution which is good enough to return on the investment. I always recommended our customer that must go for an evaluation of their system for data application implementation and ask for the complete evaluation report and consider the before discussed points to make any decision.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to add on top of that here again the consideration or the factors for the consideration are at a very, very high level. Your organization or your situation may need to factor in many, many more points other than these. A case in point, for example, if you decide to go for an handcrafted solution, you want to develop your own application solution instead of going for Pro 2. You need to factor in that what kind of skills you have in-house. Do your skills or do your OpenEdge programmers have the bandwidth or the time to work on those solutions, and what kind of support you're going to need once you implement that particular solution. If you need very, very near real-time support, 1 hour response or 4 hour response, then what kind of cost you need to bear for that. So there are several factors on top of this also need to come into play when you decide to choose for a solution. We were not going to recommend one particular solution over the other because both the solution have the certain pros and cons, and both has a certain strengths and weaknesses. And we cannot recommend any solution over the other because it will be injustice to the particular solution. And for each kind of a fit organization, there may be a fit for one solution or other. So you really need to evaluate and then choose the particular solution based on that. From this point on, we'll just quickly discuss 2 specific cases, each solution which we have implemented for our customers, and we'll give you an idea that what kind of environment fits what kind of solutions to run them.
Yes, we will be discussing 2 use cases today, and where we have suggested different replication solutions based on our evaluation report. One use case will be of off-the-shelf solution, and this is recommended to our big manufacturing house company. They are having complex system implemented in business. They are having 50 worldwide Progress OpenEdge-based instances running at different locations. They are having all these instances running on different versions of OpenEdge from version 8.3 to 10.1c. At the time of evaluation, they were using some method to replicate the data into BI tool, but the data remains 1 to 3 weeks old. Management was not happy with this, and they were not able to take required decisions on time. Management wants to have real-time data in BI tool to see real-time reports and other information. Since they are having complicated infrastructure along with limited OpenEdge license, Progress OpenEdge Pro 2 was suggested to them for implementation. So after the implementation, now they are having near to real-time data into BI tool, and they are able to make their business run smoother by taking proactive decisions on and before time. Another use case is a specialized logistic company having 150 plus nationwide Progress instances running on Progress OpenEdge. They are having all their Progress applications on the same version of OpenEdge, but their system is complicated and data sensitive. So please note here that data sensitivity is also another factor which you need to consider before selecting any data replication solution. Since they are having all the systems on same version, along with having full OpenEdge license, having a bandwidth to their developers, we have suggested them to use our designed handcrafted solution to replicate data from Progress OpenEdge to MS SQL Server. The traditional solution was implemented in short time, and now all their Power BI tools is having near to real-time data for trend analysis, and they are happy to run their business smoothly without any disruption. And this is all from my side on data replication, and it's over to you, Prabhu.
Yeah, thank you, Rajinder. So coming back to just recapping the whole discussion of today. We just discussed what is data replication and what is not. What kind of typical challenge an organization can face. What kind of solutions are available. A typical internal working of a data replication solution, whether you choose the off-the-shelf or the handcrafted, and what kind of parameter you should consider when you're choosing one certain solution over other. So from this point on, we'll be happy to take any questions or any other queries you have related to this. And in the limited time, if we're not able to cover any question, then we'll happy to respond back to the answer of it. So we have one question: is Pro2 JKT's product? No, like we have said, Pro2 is not JKT product. Pro2 is Progress Software Corporation product, and it is a very, very good, robust, and very stable product. And if your organization is evaluated the need of using the Pro2, it is certainly a very worthy product to consider for. We have another question. Can we set up replication from cloud provider to on-premise? Rajinder, would you like to? And what are the challenges, risks, and mitigations? Okay.
So yes, it is very much possible to implement replication solution to any type of environment, either it's a cloud or it's on-premises. And for the mitigation of challenges, first we need to, like I earlier said, that we are studying your system, we are evaluating, we are generating evaluation reports, and based on that, we are recommending that which solution is best fit for your organization.
Okay, thank you. So there is another question: is Pro2 is same as the replication software? Like I said, Pro2 is the packaged product of the Progress Software Corporation, and it is specialized to do the replication. But you can develop your own replication software or handcrafted solution which can do the replication for you. But again, Pro2 is the Progress Software Corporation product which is for the replication. Then there's another question: can we set up replication from Progress to SQL DB running on Linux? Yes, I mean, I would like to answer here that a replication solution has no dependency whatsoever on the operating system. You can set up replication on any operating system to any other operating system, from any database to any other foreign database, regardless of which operating system they are running on. So you can be 100% sure on that part.
And I would like to add in the Prabhu statement that if Microsoft is supporting any other operating system, then replication is possible on any operating system.
Yeah. Okay, is there any other question? I think we ran out of the time, and if you have any question, we'll be happy to take it over the email. And again, I would like to thank you all for attending the session, and you should have a nice day. Thank you.